boys will be boys.
So what is the solution? Beyond Equality has been working for the past 8 years to spark conversations with young men and boys to give them the chance to think about who they would like to be and to discover how they could help to create safer and equitable communities. I spoke to Dr. Daniel B Guinness, Managing Director of Beyond Equality, about his work and how positive conversations and safe spaces for young men and boys marks the way forward.
I think there's a need for everybody. Like a lot of the conversations we're having, society just sort of presumes that we're going to actually pick this stuff up as we go. Whether it's around like how you form a healthy relationship with someone, or how do you recognize where someone's boundaries are, and have a conversation about consent, or how do you flirt with people, or how do you actually create that really strong sense of who you are as a person and what your place is in the world that's positive, that's good for you, that's good for other people. I think the first thing is recognize that those small comments are linked to, like, they help pave the way for like more bigger harmful things, but they're not the same as. Because I think, and it's a crucial point, if I come to you and you've made a joke that's obviously sexist in some way, and I say, stop normalizing rape, it's going to be a hard conversation, right? Like, you're going to have to be pretty on board with a whole bunch of steps. You can address some stuff very much in the moment. You can, call people out. You can have a conversation with them separately, right? I know it feels like you're doing some super huge, brave thing, but dropping a text in and being like, hey, like, this isn't really I'm not really in for these sorts of jokes. Can kind of stop it before the other guys in the room kind of keep on going. And then you can do stuff after the fact, talking with someone a little bit more, creating that learning journey for them where they can think about, oh, this is what I did. This is what I thought it was going to, the impact it was going to have. Here's what it actually did. And they've got that opportunity to actually not be confronted as you are fundamentally a horrible person, but instead say, hey, I think you're a person that I care about, or you're a person in my community, or you're a stranger in the street, but I want you to be part of this positive change. My final word I want to say on this would be that we've got such a huge opportunity here, and it really is an opportunity to do better by the boys, and then also like by giving them those skills for relationships, for understanding themselves, for becoming more comfortable with their own identities, all those different aspects of their identities. Doing that deep work on how they're socialized and like what they believe it is to be a man, be a real man, whatever that thing is for them, and unpack that a little bit, we can really, with that, both like send them out into the world as more positive, happy, connected people, but also really challenge some of these social norms that sit there dormant under the surface in too many places in our society, and that lead to violence against men, against women, it's non-binary people, against men themselves. So that's what I'd say. There's a big opportunity here, and it's positive for everybody. So let's jump on in.
Making this documentary has made me reflect a lot on my own sex education and how ignorant I am to the male side of this issue. It's also made me realise that education isn't just a men's issue, just like rape or sexual assault isn't just a women's issue. Toxic masculinity does exist, as do people like Andrew Tate, but what also exists are groups, charities, groups of men or just individuals who are trying to better themselves, who are trying to learn and improve the situation, just not only for their benefit but for the benefit of the people around them and for their little corner of the world. So I think going back to the question that opened this whole film, must boys be boys, I think the answer is definitely no. There are issues, as there always are. Of course there are going to be issues, but I think improvement sex education that will come and the work that's going on will hopefully enable a generation and raise a generation to communicate properly on these issues, to be able to talk about these issues more, and who will ultimately be safer because of it.